Today I'm going to add some thoughts to the whole Gina Carano story and everything that's happening with Star Wars and what I'm going to do about it. Let's go. So many people know, of course, Gina Carano. Oh, by the way, I'm Tom with Tom's Tech Show. And Gina Carano was let go via Twitter from The Mandalorian because of a tweet. I think everybody can find that tweet. It's in many articles. It's just a comparison about, you know, a group back in history and how, in order to create an attitude against another group, they had to like basically enlist regular citizens and create, a hatred for them in the general public, you know, to move people out, and comparing that to how some being in politics and being active in politics, you kind of get that feeling that people get a stigma put on you that hates you, for something that you're not. And she was lambasted over that. And I think all along, right, they really didn't want her because I don't think she fell into Kathleen Kennedy's narrative and just didn't fit. I mean, Favreau and Filoni obviously knew she was good. She was going to be great for the series. I first saw, what she was doing in Deadpool when she, played the character in Deadpool. That's when I first. Oh, I didn't really follow MMA or anything like that. I'm like, oh, okay. So she's in Deadpool. She's pretty good. She, as the character that she was playing was kind of basic and stuff. So I'm like, oh, cool. So then I started following her on Twitter, and I started seeing things like, it's amazing how much panic one honest man can spread among a multitude of hypocrites. Okay, interesting, thoughtful quotes. This one. It says, somewhere along the line you change, you stop being you. Cowards do that. That ain't you. You're better than that, right? I mean, these positive, uplifting things. Hope is stronger than fear. And I'm like, cool. This is really a good person, to follow. This isn't someone who's attacking people. This isn't someone who's denigrating people, bringing people down. She's just really being uplifting and just really has that good attitude about everything she was doing. So I'm like, okay, this is cool. I'm going to follow Gina Carano. So then she came out and was in The Mandalorian and playing the car, doing care. I just loved it. She had a backstory. She had that they gave to us. She was, didn't come from nothing, didn't automatically get all of her abilities, didn't, have powers bestowed on her by nothing. It was hard work. It was training. It was dedication, and still dedicated even once we get to The Mandalorian, right? That's the kind of character that you want to see. That's what you want to see. You want to see an arc. You want to see progress. You want to see, failure. You want to see the cycle of things in a character. You don't, characters that just have, all power all the time. Like, in Marvel, Captain Marvel, the most boring character I've ever seen. You can't have a character that just does everything and can never fail. Superman had kryptonite. Why? Because he needs your superhero needs a vulnerability. Otherwise, they're boring. They're dull. Okay, well, there's people coming. Well, just have them go take care of it without any problem. Well, that's dull and boring. So great backstory, great everything. Was really looking forward to season 3, what they were going to do. They kept bringing her more and more into the show, doing more things, and now, that's over. And I'm really over Star Wars. The Mandalorian was like the last thing. It's like, yes, they're doing this right. They brought Luke back and made Luke again. But now now I'm sure that's going to be gone, and it's just going to be a battle there. All these videos that I watch from everybody else, just saying it's just a battle over there. It's horrible. I know people who used to work at Lucasfilm, and the only thing I could ever get out of them was that it was just too toxic for them to stay, and they needed to leave. So, you get it from so many areas and so many angles that this is bad, that this place is horrible, that this place is not a good place to be. Eventually, it's going to crumble, and we'll see how long that takes. So in Wikipedia, we see that she was born in Dallas County, Texas, and then raised in Nevada. So born in Texas, that's a more, can be a more conservative kind of pro-gun area. And then, Nevada is very pro-gun, very, many points are very conservative. Then she went to Trinity Christian High School, which is a private high school that, has Bible verses on the front and you have to go to, I'm sure you have to go to Bible classes to learn about faith and things like that. So that's her background, right? That's where she grew up in. She grew up in, coming from Texas, maybe more conservative, going to a Christian school, which is probably much more conservative. So to think that she's going to suddenly jump over and now be this crazed, ultra left person is unreasonable. She went to, places like Christian high schools and things typically teach you to be good thinkers. They want you to discern things. They want you to be able to understand things. Okay, take something that's given to you and break it down and find out what it's about. Find out what the motivations are. Find out what this, everything is about. In the Bible, they call it Bereans, who would study the Bible, who would, they would get a letter and they would have to go through every part of it and make sure that it matches with all the rest of the Bible. That was being taught back in Bible days. These people that would go and do that, and that's a lot of what Christian schools are, is studying that, learning, knowing right from wrong, and being able to teach discernment. Well, in her interview with Ben Shapiro that she was on, that was one of the things that she did. She searched out, looked for. She was getting into politics, searching things out, trying to find out what, made sense. And she looked and found people like Ben Shapiro, I'm sure many others. And they said, what you were saying made sense to me because I'm thinking for myself and am not following a narrative. And that, blooms into, her conservative values and everything. Even in the interview, she seemed, she said she was kind of a shy person, and it really showed that her voice would get a little bit, jittery and stuff because she's not really wanting to be, her person on the forefront. Often, I think these people who do things like wrestling and acting, they themselves want to be back behind the scenes, but they're okay portraying a character or, being out in the ring one-on-one and just being a battle and being able to put everything else, the audience and everything else, away from them, where they're just focusing on the battle in front of them. And just like an actor, they kind of push themselves away and they're just being this other character on screen, and allows them, to do that, even though they're shy and kind of introverted in the background. There's definitely a lot of interest in this. So if I looked through, these are a lot of the Sunday specials, and I was just looking, kind of interesting that this one has 151,000 views, 400,000 views, 300,000 views. Here's an 800,000 view. We get up to Tim Pool, who's very popular, very very even-headed and very good thinker, and actually tries to discern what's going on and everything else. His video has 988,000 views. Then we come up here to Gina Carano, 2.6 million views. So this definitely shows that there's huge support for Gina Carano. I mean, I tweeted quite a few different things out, just saying, just adding my voice just to support her and stuff and things that are going on. I mean, whatever, it's like at this point, whatever she does with, the Daily Wire and Ben Shapiro, whatever movie, even if it's like an MMA themed film that she does, because it's best to do what right, for your first time out, if she's going to actually direct and star in a film. If it's MMA, even though I'm not really into MMA, I'd go see it. I go just to support, right? I mean, we're moving to a state where the theaters are open, so we're going to be doing that. Which is fine. I love supporting things that make sense, that aren't crazy. I mean, just so yeah, just more and more respect for her, more and more, admiration of what she's done and how she's done it. That she's continuing on, that she's not stopping, and I see that many other, YouTubers and everything else out there are just fully on board. It seems like there's a good, base of people that are out here that just, yeah, what Lucasfilm is doing is crazy, and we don't get it. I hope that the infighting in there eventually crumbles Lucasfilm completely to the ground, and then something like a phoenix of some kind, from the ashes of Star Wars being ground to nothing, a phoenix will come out, and whether that's a Filoni and Favreau thing without, Kathleen Kennedy in it, which is what I know that's what the fandom hopes is going to happen, but we'll see how that battle all plays out. But for now, we're without Cara Dune, but we still have Gina Carano, and yeah, we'll just continue to support her and whatever she's doing, in the world. So, all right. Well, what do you think? Do you think Gina Carano deserved being fired? Do you think she's got, potential, that she's still moving forward, even on the Daily Wire, that she's going to be able to be successful and everything else there? Or, and is Star Wars dead for you? Is this the last nail in the coffin? It kind of is for me. I mean, we paid for Disney Plus. We paid for the 3 years so I can't really cancel it right now. I mean, I can wait. I mean, I think we have another year and a half or something or so before the renewal is done, but then I'll probably stop it at that point. But yeah. All right. So let me know what you're doing about that too. All right. Thanks for watching. Take care.